Hello, all of my favorite people. Welcome to Sunday Sweat Club. I am so happy to have you here today. I hope you've had an amazing weekend. And now it's time to sweat. So let's get ready. Everybody, come to your mat. And today we are going to start seated. So keep in mind that seated can be different for everyone. Sukhasana is fine. Legs out in front are fine. Maybe you want to sit with your legs wide. Whatever it takes for you to feel like your spine is able to get nice and long. So I like to, if I'm seated on my butt, reach and grab the flesh out from under my butt so I can be firm on my sits bones. Whatever you choose, wiggle around a bit to find an expression of a seat that works for you. Get out any last bit of movement. Then shut your eyes down. Let your hands rest somewhere on your body. So it could be either your knees, maybe one hand to the heart, the other hand to the low belly. But ideally, I'd like you to feel the warmth of your palms connected to your body. Take a deep breath in, draw your breath all the way to your low abdomen. Exhale. And then just allow your breath to flow naturally to begin. Depending where you're at in your day or how much caffeine you've had, you might find your mind is moving a little quickly. So let's bring the awareness of our mind to the gentle rise and fall of our chest. If you're just breathing naturally, it's likely these breaths are a little shallow, which is fine. If your mind wanders again, bring it back to the breath. On your next inhale, draw as much breath as you can into your lungs. So make it a full breath. Feel your chest expand outwards, maybe even your ribs expand backwards. And then as you exhale, pull your belly in and up, pushing out any last bit of stale air in the lungs. Again, full expansive breath as you inhale. And an engaged exhale, emptying the lungs. Once more, breath in. How large can your lungs expand? And then exhale, how much air can you press out of your lungs? Empty, empty, empty. Inhale on my count, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Continue this rhythm of breath. And maybe you customize it a little bit to make it yours, so it might become slightly shorter or slightly longer. But this is the wave of breath that will carry us throughout class, throughout challenging positions, throughout resting positions to come back to equilibrium. And then as you sit here with this breath, feel the warmth of your hands somewhere on your body. Feel that connection. And then almost as though your hands are doing a scan of your entire body, feel their heat start to stretch all the way around your body. And ask your body what it needs. Weird, right? But if you can, take this little moment of personal inquiry and see if your body is calling for anything. Maybe you need more calm in your life. Maybe you need more joy, patience, laughter, challenge. Pick a thing that it feels like you could nurture your body by bringing into your life. And that'll be our intention that we move with today. So find your intention, take a breath in. Open mouth, exhale, sigh it out. Blink your eyes open. Come back to that slow count of breath, right? And then you can bring your hands down by your sides and we'll all come to recline actually. So take a moment to stretch the legs out, then roll onto your back. Once you're here, press your feet on the ground by the glutes, hands on the ground by your sides. Just briefly inhale, lift up to a baby bridge pose. And then exhale, lower back down. Draw your knees in towards your chest. So both knees come in, no hands though. So take a look at me. I'm squeezing as tight as I can get into the chest to start engaging through the hip flexors. So those of you who are runners, right, our hip flexors do a lot of work. They're super strong. Can you make them even stronger as you pull the knees in a little bit more? Take a breath in, reach your feet towards the sky, maybe point the toes. And then as you exhale, bring your right leg over your left leg so you create a little crisscross. So if you notice my legs are crisscrossing here, then legs are straight to start, bend into both knees. So now you have your right knee in front of your left knee, your toes are pointing out to the side, right? Pull the knees into the chest with the strength of your body. So we have a little bit of a cross here. And then try to widen your big toes out to the side even more. So big toes are going to come towards your face. Maybe you have to look at your toe, right, to cue yourself into what engagement you're trying to do. Knees come in, squeeze, 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 3. Imagine I'm here and I'm just pulling these big toes toward your face. 2, 1. Inhale, reach the feet up towards the sky, point the toes. And then as you exhale, you'll crisscross opposite sides. So left leg comes in front of right. We start straight and then you bend into both knees. So eventually we've got the right knee on top of the left knee. Then feet are out to the side. Ideally, you're trying to bring the big toes towards your face. So they'll widen this way, right? Widening out to the side. Squeeze as much as you can and then try to draw the knees as close as you can to your chest. So it's a lot of opposing actions. This is why our breath count is so important, right? Because when we do this, the more you squeeze, the harder it is to breathe. So continue that even flow of breath. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, lift the feet back towards the ceiling, straighten the legs. Both legs are nice and even, shake it out, push the low back down into the mat. Inhale, reach the hands up towards the sky, lift your upper back up. Exhale, lower down, hands come down. We'll do that once more. Inhale, reach up, hands up, upper back up. Exhale, everything lowers down, hands by your sides. One more time because it feels good. Inhale, reach up, push the low back down to the mat. Shoulder blades are off the mat. Hold and squeeze for 3, for 2, 1, and release down. Now we're going to do the exact same thing. So inhale, take your right leg in front of your left. Then we bend in the knees. This time you can reach with your left hand and grab for the outside edge of the left foot, right hand and grab for the outside edge of the right foot. If that's not accessible to you, you can walk the hands up so they're on the calves, right? And we're pulling these feet towards our face. Now, we are moving into passive stretch territory, right? Ideally, no matter where you're pulling, you should start to feel this stretch on the outside of one or both of the hips. That's right, but because you've taken class with me before, you might know what's coming next. So I'm going to, don't do anything yet, we're hanging out in the passive stretch. I'm going to ask you to release your feet in a second. And when I do, I want you to try to keep them in the exact same place that they are in this passive stretch. It's crazy, it's weird, our legs are crisscrossed, you can do it. So 3, start to engage now. 2, 1, release the feet and hold them where they are. Hold, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. 3, 2, 1, recapture, reach up and come back into that passive stretch. So remember, your hands might be up a little bit, but you're still pulling in. Now we'll do it again. 3, start to engage now. 2, 1, try and squeeze with the strength of your body. Don't let your feet move. My feet moved a lot. It's okay. Don't worry. If your feet are moving, just try, right? It's all about trying. It's all about the effort. One more time. Recapture, reach, pull the feet down and in. As passive as you can get it here. Now start to engage. 3, 2, 1. Release and hold. Oh my gosh. Start to bring the toes up towards the head, but like you're lifting them all the way up here. And hands come by your sides. Straighten the legs, unwind. Maybe pulse through the feet a little bit because that kind of feels good for me. Gonna wiggle it out, but no, we're not putting our feet down to the ground yet. Then switch it out, opposite direction, left leg in front of right. Bend into one knee, bend into the other knee. Point through the feet, lift up with your hands and grab for the outside edges of the feet or the outside edges of the calves. Ideally, we're pulling until we get this passive stretch, right, in the outer glute. If you're not feeling it as much, your feet might be down here. So instead, make sure to pull them up and out and then in. See the difference? No, yes, great. If you did it on the no version on the other side, don't worry, that's why we have 2 sides, so you can try it out. So, continue pulling in. I'm going to ask you to release in 3. Start engaging now to keep the feet where they are. 2, pull the knees in. 1, and release and hold. Hold. We're getting our mobility work out in the way in the beginning. Yes, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Lift your chest up, recapture the feet, pull them back down. Take a breath in. And out. Breath in. Hold and brace. 3, 2, 1. Release. Keep the feet where they are. Squeeze them up and in, squeeze them up and in. If I was around you, I would come and like touch your feet and be like, push, 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 because you only got one more set, right? Okay, breath in, reach up, grab your feet. Last time. Here we go. This means you can give it your all. So find the passive stretch, the end of the passive stretch. 3, start to engage now. Pull the knees into the chest. 2, 1, and release and hold. Hold. How tight can you get the knees into the chest? How far up can you get the feet? Imagine they're flying, and hands come down by your sides. Inhale, straighten, point the feet, and exhale, release. Both feet come hip width distance apart. Wiggle it out side to side, windshield wiper your legs. It's a lot of work in the glutes. Take a full cycle of breath to release any tension that might have built up. We're going to use that later, so don't worry, I promise we did that for a reason. Hands come back to the ground, then inhale, lift up, bridge pose. This bridge, you can take a little bit higher if you like. You can clasp your hands under your back, reach your chest towards the ceiling. Option 1, you can stay here with the hips lifted and just breathe through your bridge.
Option 2, you can draw the right knee up into the chest. Option 3, you can point the foot towards the ceiling. Wherever you are, you're going to hold and breathe for 3 cycles of breath. Remember your 6 count if you can. Lift the hips a little higher and squeeze. 2, straight through the leg. You gotta reach the big toe towards the ceiling. And then exhale, release both feet together. Keep your bridge up if you like, or lower down for just a cycle of breath to cycle. Once you're back up, switch to the other side. Option to draw the left knee into the chest and hold here, or to straighten the leg towards the ceiling. Once you got the leg straight, if that's what you're doing, press into the foot and the right foot and try to lift your hips a little bit higher. Then straighten the leg a bit more. Push your pinkies down into the mat. You've got 2 more cycles of breath still. Find a chill face, because this is the easiest thing you've ever done, but you're nice and engaged and breathing like a champion. 3, 2, 1. Release, both feet together. Release the hands if you have them clasped. Lower the back down 1 vertebra at a time, starting from your upper back to your mid back to your low back, and release. It's okay, maybe you just lowered your back down. I'm gonna give us 1 more opportunity to do that. So inhale, lift the hips up, and then we'll lower down starting with the upper spine, right? Like a spinal wave. The mid, eventually the low back comes to the mat. The last thing to come down is the sacrum. Grab behind the thighs, rock and roll yourself like, you know me, 6 times at least. And as you do it, try to roll on each vertebra. So you might find that there's a spot that's skipping. Typically that's in our low back, right? If you round enough through the low back, then we can hit that spot. All right, come on up. Reach your feet out in front of you. Draw your right leg up and in towards your chest. Option 1, stay here. You'll wrap the left hand around, twist open. Option 2, you'll bring the knee in towards the chest and then bring it across the left leg. You can grip here, twist, or you can put the elbow on the outside of that knee as you twist up and over. So what are we doing? Our goal is really to find our spine moving forward and up. So if you've got your back rounded, push forward and up, straighten through the spine, fingertips face backwards, and then you turn. Maybe the hand comes down to the ground. Check out my left foot. Left foot's alive, right? So flex through the foot, then inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, you get long, you get tall. Exhale, you've made a little more room so you can twist a little deeper. Last time, lengthen and twist. Come back to center. Now, no matter where you are, bring your hands out to the sides, palms face each other. Take a breath in. Lift your right foot, sorry, it'll be left foot for you since I'm mirroring. Or no, it should be your right foot, up. And release. You're like, Madison, don't switch foots on us now. Feet on us now. Inhale, sweep your hands high. Exhale, fold forward. Passive fold around with the spine. Let's stay here for 3 breaths. Two, allow the head to be heavy. Pull the belly button in. And 1. On your next inhale, use your core to lift or roll yourself up to a seat. The feet are out in front once again, and this time we either bring the left foot in next to the hip or crisscross it up and over for a nice big twist. The hand comes behind us, so notice how once the hand comes down, watch my spine adjust, right? So I push the hand down to adjust, reach the right hand high, and then twist up and over. Maybe we extend this hand down towards the ground. But what I care about is we inhale, lengthen towards the sky, exhale, twist, and your right foot is alive. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. Last time, slow breath in. I'm cueing a little too fast if we're doing our 6 count, breath out, we twist.
And then inhale, make your way back to center. Hands can come out to a T. Pick your left foot up, hover it in the air, release it by your right. Inhale, sweep the hands high. And then exhale, hands come down by your sides. Now I'm going to ask you to do something that I can't see or know what you're doing, but it's going to be a creative process. We are all going to come standing at the top of the mat in Tadasana pose. However, I would like you to try to get there without using your hands. So I want you to stand up and come to the top of the mat, hands by your sides in Tadasana, but I want you to get there without using your hands. So no hands will touch the ground. Maybe you've got a weird way of doing it. You can totally pick, find a way, find your best way. And if you're like, Madison, I couldn't find a way, we can talk about it after class, because I'm gonna ask you to do this 3 different ways, 3 times. So find yourself at the top of the mat, Tadasana pose. Big toes touch, slipper space between the heels, and let's flow. Inhale, sweep the hands high, look up. Exhale, fold through heart center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank pose, squeeze the glutes, and then we'll lower down all together. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, press up, baby cobra. Exhale, lower down. Curl the toes under, press up, plank or tabletop. Exhale, back downward facing dog. Breath in. And a breath out. Enjoy your first downward dog. Feel free to add in movement, come to stillness. All I care is that your hands are pushing away from you on the mat. Inhale, look forward, bend in your knees, tiptoe one toe at a time to the top of the mat until eventually your feet are by your hands and you fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, sit your butt back, take your arms wide, press the palms, look high. Exhale, we'll fold right through heart center all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step your right foot back into a low lunge. So find your low lunge. Take a look at your feet, look down and see, imagine you're on railroad tracks, right? So if they're too close, you're going to feel imbalanced. So make sure you have a pseudo railroad track feet and then pull the left hip back in space. Inhale, come up, crescent. Our first crescent of the day. What does that mean? Well, after some of the shortening we did in the hip flexor on the ground with that crazy stretch, you might feel it in this right hip flexor. So start to sink yourself down, straight as you can through the back leg. But if you find that's compressing the back, it's okay to bend into the back knee as long as you're pulling the right foot forward. So 2 options, straight leg or bent back knee, pull forward. Left hip pulls back no matter what you're doing. Hands come high. Take a breath in. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach the hands high. Exhale, sweep the hands back, airplane, and we'll hold here. So if you look at me, you'll see we've got one long line, right? From the heel to the crown of the head, your hands are like your beautiful little wings that are zooming and holding for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, hands come down. Frame the foot, bend into the back knee, and then step yourself up to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands right into the left foot. So left foot comes back, and remember, first we set up by looking at your feet. Be like, okay, what do my feet look like? Do they need to spread apart a little bit? If so, all good. Then pull the right hip back in space, power up through the legs. Inhale, come on up, crescent pose. Find your version of crescent. So maybe you're here, maybe the back knee is bent and you're pulling that left thigh forward, right? I would even argue the back knee bent, pulling forward is more work, right? It feels like more work to me. All right, hands come high, palms face each other, sink down. Breath in. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the hands high, palms face each other. Exhale, airplane, hands come back, straighten through the back leg.
And imagine you're zooming through the air and we now have the ability to fly. How freaking cool is that? Stay and breathe for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale up, crescent pose. Exhale, sweep the hands down, frame the foot, bend into the back knee, and step yourself forward into Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit your butt back, arms wide, push yourself up. Palms press, look at your thumbs. Exhale, hands to heart center, and then hands by your sides, Tadasana. Breath in. And a breath out. Inhale, sweep the hands high, press the palms above the head. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to your plank pose. So option 1 is you're going to hold plank, knees down, knees up, knees down, knees up. Option 2, you're gonna lift your right foot up off the mat, hold your plank here. Option 3, if you're really feeling it, you're gonna shift your weight over your right hand and try to hover the left hand in a 2-legged plank, but keep the hips low. We're holding plank together. Ooh, don't fall for 3, 2, 1, back to plank. Breath in. Lower down, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog. Exhale, lower down. Curl your toes under, press yourself up, plank pose. We have to do the other side. So lift your left foot up if you please. Remember, you can always be coming in and out of plank. Working on that. If that feels okay, shift your weight over into your left hand. Ooh, and balance, hold, wiggle, wobble, 2-legged, 1 arm, 1 leg plank, 3, 2, 1. Replace the hand, replace the foot, press up and back. Lost in your foot, downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths in downward dog. If you need a rest, you can come to child's pose, knees wide, butt back, hands forward. If you're in child's pose, meet us back in downward facing dog. Inhale, look between your hands. Exhale, bend in the knees. Tiptoe to the top of the mat and then fold into Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit your butt back, take your arms wide, press yourself up to standing, palms up, look high. Exhale, hands to heart center, Tadasana. All right, shift your weight over into your right leg. Left knee comes up, 90-degree bend. Find that bend in the knee. And then, maybe with the hands at heart center, maybe you have 2 fists. Start to sweep that leg out to the side, out, 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 out. We're stepping back to warrior 2. But how slow can you get there until eventually you step back and down, warrior 2. Take a little time to set up. Reach the hands, and then place the right hand to the inside of this knee. I'd like you to push the knee into the hand into the knee, and sink it down, nice and low. Once you find that, press the knee in the hand, straight through the back leg. Push into the outer edge of the back foot, maybe gaze forward, or if you want to really change it up, gaze backward. See how that feels. Remember, both hip bones are pointing the same direction. Our side body's open. Thighs roll out. 3, 2, 1. Regular warrior 2, reach it long. Inhale, hands come up to the sky. Exhale, fold forward to the inside of your right leg. So this is like a down dog lunge. So our legs are in a lunge, but your upper body is going to mimic down dog. So find the down dog in the upper body, then with the strength of your body, continue to push the right knee out to the side, right? So your knee isn't falling in, pushing hands into the mat away from you. Find that strength and engagement in the upper body for 3. For 2. 1. Inhale, try to lift your head up halfway, then walk your hands over to the center. Straighten through that front leg, say hallelujah. Turn your toes out, your heels in, breath in. Exhale, full, wide-legged forward fold. Once you're there, I invite you to choose what your hands are doing. So they could be pulling you down into the fold. They could be on your ankles. They could be on your hips. Inhale, feel your spine grow long. Exhale, pull the belly button in and fold deeper. Lean your weight towards your toes so you almost feel like you could lift off in your heels. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, press yourself up to a halfway lift, hands on the mat. Exhale, hold here, little bend in the knees, bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, lift yourself up, all the way to standing. Man, how did we even get here? Turn yourself forward, just like crescent pose. Bend into the back knee. Launch yourself forward, knee up to 90 degrees, and then release. Feet side by side, Tadasana. Breath in. And a breath out. Another breath in. And out. Shift your weight over into your left leg. I believe your right knee will come up. I hope we're correct. Right knee will come up. So weights in the left leg, then you're going to sweep that leg back really slowly. How slow can you go? I'm gonna try to not hit my head on the stairs. Reach until eventually you step back into your warrior 2 pose. Now we take a little time to set up because you know we're gonna be here for what feels like 15 years. Roll your thighs out, hand comes to the inside of that knee. So first off, these two are pushing together. Then we're straight through the back leg, sink down. Push into the outer edge of your back foot. Lift your back arm up to a perfect T. Gaze can either be forwards or backwards if you're feeling like you want to do something weird and different today. Reach the hand. Breathe in for 3. Get lower. For 2. I feel like I talked longer on the other side, so we're going to just say 2 again. Yes. And 1. Both hands come to a T. Standard warrior 2. Inhale, sweep the hands high. Exhale, you'll bring your butt backwards. Hands will come forward, down dog lunge. So once you're in this lunge, the hands will press into the ground, bend into your left knee as much as you can until it's about 90 degrees. And then, like I said, the hands should really be pushing, so you're still long through the spine. Push into the outer edge of the back foot as well. So many cues. If you hold on to half of them, you're absolutely killing it. Steady your breath. 3, 2, and 1. Hands walk to the center once again. Turn your toes out, your heels in. So this is different than our standard. We're doing the opposite today to make it a little bit harder to come into the fold. 1 more breath here. Exhale, fold down. Take a different variation with your hands than you did last time. We'll only be here for 3 breaths. Last breath in and out. Inhale, lift yourself up halfway, take a micro bend in the knee, hands come to the hips as you exhale. Inhale up to standing, then pivot towards the top of your back knee up off the mat, bend into that front knee, bend into the back knee. And on your inhale, come, oops, to standing forward. Right knee bends. Exhale, release, Tadasana, hands by your sides. Take your left hand to your heart, your right hand to your low belly. First opportunity to reconnect with that intention you set. Remember, we did a little scan to see what you would like to invite, bring into your body, what your body is calling for. So use that weight of your hands to send that to you now. Breath in. Breath out, hands by your sides. So we are going to move back down to the ground and then come back up. You're like, how are we going to do that, Madison? Well, that's up to you. So ideally, I would like you to try to come to a seat on your mat without using your hands. If you have to use your hands, that's fine, but be mindful about what movements you're taking, right, to come down to your butt. So find one that works for you. And again, if you're using hands, can you try to be light in the hands when you make your way down? And then come to a seat. Take a breath in. Exhale here. Right back up. I'm going to ask you to come to standing. Now, once again, I don't even know if you remember how you did it last time, right? There's so many different options. Can you find a different way to come to standing? For example, like maybe I'm gonna move my leg out and come down here and come up to standing. Think creatively and weirdly. We're just trying to rewire our brain, right? Into how can I do this without the typical way I would if you're going to use your hands. Again, use your hands in a different way. Move in a different way until we come to standing, top of the mat. Tadasana. Shift your weight over into your right leg. So find that shift strong in the right leg. Draw the left knee up to a 90-degree bend. Then start to bend into the right knee. Bend, bend, bend. Lift the left leg over just like we did while we were on the ground. So now you've got the knee over the knee over the knee, essentially. Remember, we grabbed our feet before. We're not going to do that this time. But if you can, try to sink lower and maybe take a half bind, ankle down here. Full bind, ankle wraps around the very back. Hands can come to the hips. See how deep you can get. And then if you like, today instead of eagle arms, I want us to hug ourselves because it feels awesome. So wrap your arms around your back as much as you can and then pull your elbows down so you feel your neck getting nice and long. Hold and breathe for 3. For 2, strong in that standing leg. And 1, unravel the arms first to reach them up. Then come to standing, draw the left knee up into the chest. Exhale, release, both feet together, Tadasana. Shake it out. Moving on to the other side. Shift your weight over into your left leg. Find that strength first. Then we balance here. Option 1, you're just going to stay in practice as balance. Option 2, start to bend into that left leg, wrap the right leg over. Perfect. So we've got the 1 wrap. Maybe you bring the ankle down towards the calf, a little bit more of a wrap. Maybe you reach all the way around and crisscross legs into little spaghettis, and then you have the full wrap, sit the butt deeper, arms out to the sides, hug yourself in the opposite direction. So it's going to feel weird. Different arm on top, then pull the elbows down, lengthen through the neck. Sit your butt deeper, hold and breathe. Strong in that standing leg. You are a mountain, you are immobile. Sturdy, can't be changed for 3. For 2. 1, unwrap the arms first. Then start to untangle the legs, draw the right knee up into the chest. Exhale, release. Feet together, hands by your sides, Tadasana pose. Breath in.
And breath out. Blink your eyes back open. Inhale, sweep the hands high, press the palms, look up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, and then crisscross your legs just like we did on the mat. So the right foot will step in front of the left until both of your pinky toes are touching. So look down at your feet. Your pinky should be touching, right leg crossed in front of the left leg. Now, option one, I'm gonna give a couple different options depending on what you like. Option one is you'll just fold here. Work on this forward fold. Option two, if toe cars are in your practice, we are going to try and do toe cars in this weird position, which is actually a little confusing because now our feet are switched and it might hurt our brains a little. So look at your toes. Try to push all your little toes down, but lift your big toes up. I don't know why this is so hard when I switch legs. Okay, big toe down, little toes up. Easier. Next. Okay, little toes down, big toes up. Big toes down, little toes up. Okay, now try to push your big toes and your pinkiest toes down only, but the 3 toes in the middle stay up. Now try to push the 3 toes in the middle down, but lift up your big toes and your pinky toes. I can't do that. It just doesn't happen for me, but I'm gonna do my best. All right, lift all 10 toes up, and then all 10 toes down, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Take your right foot, bring it next to your left, and we're just going to move to the opposite side. So lift your left foot in front of your right. Pinky toe edges will once again touch. This time we'll all fold together. Unless you want to do more toe cars, you totally can. Go for it. I'm going to fold this time. Exhale, fold. Head is heavy. Relax through the jaw. Draw the belly button in to fold a little bit deeper. Maybe a gentle sigh out the mouth to release tension. Inhale, halfway lift. Unswap the feet. Now big toes face each other. Bend in your knees, sit your butt back, press up and through chair pose. Palms come high, look at your thumbs. Exhale, hands to heart center. Then hands by your side, Tadasana. We will come back down to a seat and then move into our closing postures of class. However, and we'll be building on this in later classes, but this is our first opportunity to kind of like get curious about it. I would like you to once again come to a seat, trying not to use your hands or just doing it in a different way. We get so familiar with the patterns that we like to use to get down, right? Or to get up. They're just our patterns. But we can prevent injury by having more and more options, more and more exercises that can get us there. So find some way to get to the ground. I'm gonna cross this here. There we go. Now I'm seated. Find your weirdest way, come to a seat. Once you've found your seat with or without your hands, now you can use them to grab behind the thighs, roll yourself back. Come to Navasana pose, option 1, hands, option 2, no hands, option 3, hands up, option 4, straighten through the legs. For me, no, I'm not doing it. You can't make me. I don't have me yelling at me, otherwise I might try it. So reach and pick your version for 3, 4, 2, 1, reach the legs long, extend, 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 and eventually you'll come all the way down on your back. And celebrate your success for being fully reclined. Reach your hands long, reach your toes long, shake the hips. Breath in. And a breath out. Couple different options tonight. We often close kind of with the same thing because I like to close with the same thing, but instead, I'd like you to bring your low back to the mat, reach your feet up towards the sky. So option 1, do this, hang out for as long as you want. This is our legs up the wall. You can put a block
or even your fists or your hands under your low back to kind of create this. You're also at home, you could just move to the wall and go for it. Option 2 will be to press into your hands, kick your feet up and over, and come into plow pose. Toes can be on the ground, tops of the toes, or you can curl the toes under and try to press the heels back, which is actually kind of my preference, just because I feel like I'm able to get more of a stretch. Then hands can be clasped if you like, or on the ground. Remember that this is your practice, so only do things that feel accessible, that feel good in your body. Once you've been in plow for a while, if you like, you can start to bend into the knees, maybe reach the knees down by the ears and try to clamp your knees onto your ears. Yoga is so weird. But for some reason, it also feels good, right? Like it's like you're doing the weirdest thing ever, but it also works. Once you feel like you're done with whatever we're doing here with plow, you can either A, come back to your legs up the wall, or move through shoulder stand, pushing the hands on the low back, reaching the feet high. If you're doing this, please do not turn your neck in any direction, because it's a lot on the neck. Those of you in legs up the wall, just know that that's also the most awesome thing in the world. It's an inversion, right? So take 5 more breaths to explore and play with whatever strange things it is that we're doing here. And then when you feel like you've had enough of this inversion practice, you can lower down, if you're in shoulder stand, maybe through plow, and then lower down 1 vertebra at a time. If your legs are up the wall, maybe just draw the knees into the chest and then reach the feet down towards the ground until your feet are next to your glutes. Once you're on the ground, right knee comes into the chest, left leg goes long, or option to twist with 2 knees together. I don't care which, but we'll be moving through an easy twist. So take one leg or both legs over to the left side, arms come to a T. If it feels okay on your neck, gaze over to the right. Inhale, your spine grows long from your big toe to the crown of your head. Exhale, you twist it out. If your mind starts to wander, bring it back to your intention. What are you sending your body today with this practice? Strength of your core, draw your right knee back in towards your chest, and then roll over, making your hips even. If you are doing one leg at a time, switch the legs out. Left knee comes into the chest, squeeze in, and twist over to the right, maybe bumping that right hip under. Gaze to the left if it feels okay on the neck. Shut down the eyes, envision one long line from your right big toe to the crown of your head as you inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. If your mind wanders, once again, bring it back to that intention. What are you giving your body today? Breath in. And a breath out. Draw your left knee up in towards your chest using your core. Come back to center, even out the hips. And then if there's anything else you'd like to take to end class today, maybe a happy baby, literally anything that your body is calling for, you have the next 2 or so minutes to go through that. If you're like, oh, Madison, I think I've had enough, you're also welcome to come into Shavasana. But I really want to encourage the idea of moving intuitively, right? Because an at-home practice without a teacher can start with just 2 minutes of movement. Then one day you might be 5 minutes. And one day you might be 20 minutes, and soon you might not even need me anymore and you'll never see me again. Just kidding, that's a joke. But if that happened, I wouldn't even be sad. Because it would mean that you've developed your own practice and your own intuition. So just about another minute. And then when you're ready, you can meet me and every other virtual yogi who is already there in Shavasana. I'd like to offer palms face up in Shavasana if you would like to receive energy. Or palms face down in Shavasana if you'd like to feel grounded. And if it's not comfortable for you to have the palms on the ground by your sides, you can also do one hand to the heart, one hand to the low belly, and it really has that same effect. Take a breath in. And out. Another breath in. And out. Last time, inhale. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Close your mouth. And then drift off into your Shavasana.
Take a deep breath in. And gently sigh out to come back to your space, back to your body. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, open your jaw, move it side to side. And then start to rock your head back and forth and invite larger movements into your body until eventually you roll over on your right side using your right arm as a pillow. Take a brief moment in fetal pose just to recognize all of the strength and effort you put into class today, and thank yourself for showing up to sweat, to move, and to be challenged. Press yourself up to a comfortable seat facing the general sound of my voice. And once you've arrived, bring one hand over your heart, the other hand on your low belly, just like you did before, and feel the heat of your hands. Come back to your intention, the one thing that you wanted to send yourself, to give your body. And imagine that that thing, that sensation, just for one more moment, is radiating from your hands. Take a breath in. Bring your palms to heart center, two thumbs to your sternum. Breath out. Another breath in and out. Getting rid of tension, getting rid of everything with this last round of breath in. And exhale. Thumbs to your forehead, your third eye, maybe put a smile on your face. Thank you all for joining me. Happy Sunday. Namaste. Great work, everyone. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer. As always, thank you for coming to Sunday Sweat Club, and we'll see you next week.